everybody, welcome back to another video. It's been a little bit, we've been pretty busy around here, so we're back. And this video is something that I have been wanting to do for a long time and have been patiently waiting. It is on the new Fuji GFX100ii. We got to play with this a little bit in pre-production before this was out, and we're just blown away by what it could do. And just in the little time we had before it was released, immediately the comparisons we were using is, could this be the next mini LF? Something to accompany the Alexa 65 in a much smaller footprint. And after playing with it as much as we have, I am ready to stake that claim. And today we're gonna go through as much as we can with this camera to show you how it can cut as a B cam to any of the Alexa models or really anything else out there. It's a really great neutral, larger format sensor with tons of flexibility. So with that, let's just get right into this video. All right, let's talk about the mini LF. This thing right here, it doesn't look so big or intimidating, but it's very stripped down, even just as it is. Now, once you put a plate on the back, the battery plate, batteries, EVF, map box, Teradek, follow focus, this mini LF is not so much mini anymore. In fact, it's actually a pretty damn big camera build, you know, all things considered. I think we had a fully built one here not too long ago that we put on the scale and it was tipping 35, 40 pounds. So it's not easy to get a miniature package out of this camera without spending a lot of time. Yes, you can strip this down and do things, but then you gotta pull the cage off and do a bunch of stuff. It's just not super ideal. And even then, getting this on a gimbal is a little bit tough. So, enter the Fuji GFX100. Skin tones, very close to what the Alexa sensor looks like. Latitude, very close to what the Alexa sensor looks like. We're just gonna go through and show you some test footage with the two of these cameras just to show you how flat this log profile is on the Fuji, as well as obviously with the Alexa, that's tried and true. So let's go through this, take a peek, just see how much latitude we've got going on here. Just watch this for a couple minutes. Now, let's talk about a bigger camera, the Alexa 65, massive sensor. There really is no other option other than to pair the mini, that's not mini, LF with that camera. Now, this camera has a massive sensor, and because of that, it gives you a lot of flexibility, and they don't force you to just shoot that. Fuji's done a really great job of building in tons of different formats into this sensor. There's a Premista mode, a 35mm mode, a full format GF mode, widescreen modes, and all of those things. They have done a ton to make different working profiles on this sensor to pretty much cover any lens you can throw at it, which is amazing. Even still, we put our little Nisi Athenas on here, and even those covered the full GF width. Starts getting a little vignette on the height, but you'd never use the height if you're shooting for anything that's a normal deliverable for video, 16:9, 17:9, widescreen. So with that, it really is cool, and it allows you to play with, you know, if you wanna use some of the character that happens on the edge of the image circle for your lenses, it gives you a lot to work with to get some of that fun and funk that you might get outside of the normal image circle of the lenses you're trying to put on it. All right, let's just jump into the menu settings really quick and just go through some of these video settings. So, this camera's gonna give you ProRes in multiple flavors. Depending on the formats you shoot on, you know, you can do up to 120 FPS. This thing will shoot in a cropped in version up to 8K. So if you're shooting something like a Venice or a Raptor and just wanna have matching 8K files, you can do that on this camera. Now, you can also bake some of Fuji's amazing emulations directly into your footage if you want to, which is actually really cool. I honestly think some of these emulations are better than any LUTs out there, and if I could bake these into something, this is the only camera I would actually think about doing that with if I had to use this as something like an A cam. Now, also in the menus, you've got some audio capability here that they've thought of. It's got time code support, so you really can use this like a full-fledged A cam or definitely a B cam. Big thing here, it's just like every mirrorless hybrid style camera. it's lacking ins and outs. I mean, you've got an HDMI out and that's about it. So from there, if you wanna go to something like a monitor or a battery plate that has some breakout, you're gonna have to be a little bit creative with how you route your output settings so you can do what you need to do for all the clients that may be wanting signals, etc. So that's the only real downside with the I/O, but that's not really a thing, as we know most mirrorless hybrid cameras all suffer from the exact same problem. Now also on this camera, I've got a little Metabones GFX to PL mount that is really great, that allows you to adapt pretty much any PL lens on here. Now there's a lot of lenses that cover VistaVision right from the factory, and cheap ones too. Vespid Retros, the Athenas, the Tokina Vistas. A lot of these lenses actually cover just fine all the way out to the full edge of the GF sensor, which is amazing. The added field of view you get from that space allows you to pull focus even closer in on your subjects and frame these beautiful portraits that just watch the background just fully fade away. Not only that, if you do want your footage to have, let's say, a deeper field, so it's easier for your focus puller, you can stop this thing down to like a 4, 5, 6, and now you're just getting an immaculately sharp image across the board in all the right target zones of your lens where it performs the best. So, huge benefit if you want to shoot closed down, or if you want to open up and just get totally crazy. That one is really fun. A lot of creative stuff you can do there on this new format based on the new field of view. Now on the GF, it's also really cool. This screen comes out and can do a lot of stuff, so depending on how you are looking or how you want to rig things, this screen gives you a lot of flexibility to see exactly what you are doing, and it's actually pretty bright, very usable outside, really sharp, so you can pull focus on it, no problem. The top screen, I've got a little top screen here. I'll show you, we'll probably get a close-up of it, but there's a lot of different things you can add on this screen that show you some of your direct functionality that's happening with your video stuff, like shutter, aperture, frame rate, shutter speed, all that stuff just built right in the top, which is very cool. So this weekend, I'm sending Galen out for a short film he's doing for a 48-hour film festival. We're gonna send him out with our mini LF, as well as the Fuji as a B cam to see how well these play together. Not only that, I think we're gonna have the new Pavos from DZO, and we're gonna shoot some full frame anamorphic on both of these cameras and really get wild with the footage. So we'll see some short film footage, we'll see some footage we shot around the studio, and we'll just kind of play that and loop that through so you can be the judge of the image from this camera, which is super, super stellar. Okay, I don't know about you, but I thought that footage looked great. I wouldn't even remotely hesitate to cut this with this and even plan your shoots around doing it. This is a great camera to pair with the Mini LF or really any Alexa sensor. This sensor might be the first one I've seen to this date that hangs with the Alexa in terms of latitude from the log footage and just overall skin tones. It's really, really incredible what Fuji's been able to do with this camera. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I absolutely hate mirrorless hybrid cameras. At this point in my career, I have too many clients on set that need different things, and I just have yet to find any mirrorless sort of camera that really can hang on set. And because of that, I'm really never that excited by any of the releases that are coming out, because we all know the image anymore is fantastic, but they still lack basic things you need. So if that's the case, I don't really find there's a reason to sacrifice for it. This new Fuji GFX offers something that just isn't in the market yet, and for that reason alone, I would sacrifice some of those usability issues just to be able to shoot on this camera. It looks incredible, and not only that, we didn't even talk about that it can shoot stills. If you have stills, if you wanna fire something off on set, this thing just takes absolutely incredible stills. I mean, can't go wrong with that. One other thing we should talk about with this is just the rolling shutter. It's a big sensor, so how good can that performance be? Well, to be honest, it's surprisingly good. Now, there is some rolling shutter, as you might expect, because it's a massive sensor. That being said though, it's honestly in any real shooting circumstance we put this in, hard to see any difference between something like the Mini LF or any of the Arri cameras. Now, the Venice 2 has a spectacular readout speed. Might not be on point with that. That being said though, that's if you're gonna put them in the same situation. We're just shaking them around a bunch, trying to bring out the worst of both cameras, which I feel like you're not really ever going to do. So if you're shooting in any sort of real circumstance where, let's say you're on a gimbal, you're operating from a tripod, even handheld, it's really hard unless you were just whipping like crazy to really see the rolling shutter negatives in action. And because of that, I think that's a major win for what this camera is able to do, considering how large this sensor is. So that is the Fuji GFX100. I'm so stoked that this thing is finally out. Can't wait to pair it with our Mini LF or even the Raptor. I think this will be a great thing to run on gimbals, to pair with really any of the new high-res, full-frame cinema cameras that are out today, shooting all the cool stuff. So, okay, thanks for watching, and remember, like and subscribe, and if you're ever in the Pacific Northwest, hit us up for some rentals, or just give us a call to chat about equipment in general. Hopefully we've got some more videos coming your way. We've got a week here where there's a little bit less going on, so we're gonna try to crank out as many as we can so we can release them over the next little bit. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you soon.